Most people think zinc is just another mineral you get from food, something small, something optional. But what if I told you that being even slightly deficient in zinc could quietly affect your immune system, your hormones, your skin, and even your hair without you realizing it? Let me explain something really important. Zinc is not just helpful in the body, it's essential for over 300 enzymatic reactions. That means hundreds of processes in your body literally depend on zinc to function properly. And when zinc is low, things don't just slow down, they start to break down in subtle ways. One of the biggest roles of zinc is in your immune system. If you find yourself getting sick often, catching colds easily, or taking a long time to recover, zinc could be the missing link. Zinc helps activate T cells, which are critical for fighting infections. Without enough zinc, your immune response becomes weaker and less efficient. Now, here's something most people don't know. Zinc also plays a major role in controlling inflammation. When your body lacks zinc, inflammation can increase, and that sets the stage for chronic problems like joint pain, skin issues, and even metabolic dysfunction. Let's talk about hormones for a second. Zinc is absolutely critical for testosterone production. Low zinc levels are directly linked to lower testosterone, which can lead to fatigue, low motivation, reduced muscle mass, and even mood changes. And it's not just men. Zinc is also important for hormonal balance in women. Another fascinating benefit of zinc is its effect on insulin. Zinc helps regulate blood sugar by supporting insulin function. If zinc is deficient, your body may struggle to control glucose levels efficiently, which can lead to cravings, energy crashes, and long-term metabolic issues. Now let's shift to something visible: your skin. Zinc is incredibly important for skin repair and healing. If you have acne, slow wound healing, or frequent skin irritation, zinc might be the missing nutrient. It helps reduce inflammation in the skin and supports tissue repair at a cellular level. And here's something that gets a lot of attention: hair health. Zinc deficiency is strongly associated with hair thinning and hair loss. That's because zinc supports the hair follicle cycle and helps maintain healthy oil glands around the follicles. Without it, hair becomes weaker and more prone to shedding. There's also a connection between zinc and your sense of taste and smell. If food suddenly tastes bland or you notice a reduced sense of smell, it can actually be a sign of zinc deficiency. This happens because zinc is required for the enzymes that support these sensory functions. Now, why are so many people deficient in zinc? One major reason is diet. Diets high in refined grains and low in nutrient-dense foods can reduce zinc intake. Also, compounds like phytates found in grains and legumes can block zinc absorption, making it harder for your body to use the zinc consume. Stress is another factor. When you're under chronic stress, your body burns through zinc much faster. So even if your intake is moderate, your demand increases and you can still become deficient. So what can you do about it? Focus on zinc-rich foods. The best sources include red meat, shellfish, especially oysters, eggs, and certain seeds like pumpkin seeds. These provide zinc in a form your body can absorb more easily. If you're considering supplementation, it's important not to overdo it. Too much zinc can actually interfere with other minerals like copper. Balance is key. The bottom line is this: zinc is one of those nutrients that doesn't get enough attention, but its impact on your body is massive. From immunity to hormones to skin and hair, it's involved in so many critical functions that even a small deficiency can create noticeable problems over time. Once you understand how important zinc really is, it changes the way you look at nutrition, not just as calories, but as the building blocks your body depends on every single day. When we talk about zinc, most people think of it as just another trace mineral, something you get in small amounts and don't really need to worry about. But that way of thinking misses how powerful zinc actually is inside the body. Zinc is involved in over 300 enzymatic reactions, which means it helps drive hundreds of biochemical processes that keep you alive, functioning, and adapting to stress. Enzymes are like tiny machines that make reactions happen faster and more efficiently, and zinc is often the key component that allows those machines to work properly. Without enough zinc, these reactions slow down, become inefficient, or stop altogether, and that's where problems begin to show up. One of the biggest areas where zinc plays a role is the immune system. Your immune defenses depend heavily on enzymes that require zinc to function. Zinc supports the development and activation of immune cells, especially T cells, which are critical for identifying and destroying pathogens. When zinc levels are adequate, your immune system can respond quickly and effectively. When zinc is low, the response becomes delayed and weaker, making it easier for infections to take hold. This is why people who are low in zinc often experience frequent colds, longer recovery time, and a general feeling that their immune system isn't as strong as it should be. Zinc is also deeply involved in hormone balance, particularly when it comes to testosterone, relies on several zinc-dependent enzymes. When zinc is sufficient, these enzymes function properly, supporting healthy hormone levels. When zinc is deficient, testosterone levels can drop, which may lead to fatigue, reduced muscle mass, low motivation, and changes in mood. This effect is not limited to men. Women also rely on zinc for proper hormone regulation, including the balance of estrogen and progesterone, which influences energy, mood, and overall well-being. Another important role of zinc is in metabolism, especially in how your body handles carbohydrates and blood sugar. Zinc is required for insulin production, storage, and release. It also helps insulin bind to its receptors, which allows glucose to enter your cells and be used for energy. When zinc levels are low, insulin may not work as efficiently, leading to fluctuations in blood sugar. This can show up as cravings for sugar, energy crashes after meals, and difficulty maintaining stable energy throughout the day. Over time, poor zinc status can contribute to metabolic imbalances that affect weight and overall health. Zinc also plays a critical role in cellular repair and regeneration. Every day, your body is constantly repairing tissues, replacing damaged cells, and building new ones. These processes depend on DNA synthesis and protein production, both of which require zinc-dependent enzymes. If zinc is lacking, the body's ability to repair itself slows down. This is often seen in slow wound healing, where cuts and injuries take longer than usual to recover. It also affects the integrity of tissues like the skin, the lining of the gut, and even the cells that make up your organs. Speaking of the skin, zinc is one of the most important nutrients for maintaining healthy skin. It helps regulate oil production, reduce inflammation, and support the healing of acne and other skin conditions. Zinc also has antimicrobial properties, which means it can help control the growth of bacteria on the skin. When zinc levels are low, the skin can become more prone to breakouts, irritation, and delayed healing. This is why zinc is often used in treatments for acne and other inflammatory skin issues. Hair health is another area where zinc-dependent enzymes are essential. Hair follicles are highly active structures that require constant cell division and protein synthesis. Zinc supports both of these processes, helping to maintain the growth cycle of hair. When zinc is deficient, hair follicles can become weaker, leading to increased shedding and thinning. The oil glands around the follicles may also become disrupted, which can further affect hair quality and scalp health. Zinc is also crucial for brain function and cognitive performance. It plays a role in neurotransmitter activity, which affects how your brain communicates internally. Zinc-dependent enzymes are involved in the synthesis and regulation of neurotransmitters that influence mood, focus, and memory. When zinc levels are balanced, brain function tends to be sharper and more stable. When zinc is low, it can contribute to brain fog, difficulty concentrating, and changes in mood. Another interesting function of zinc is its role in maintaining your senses of taste and smell. These senses rely on specific enzymes that require zinc to function properly. When zinc is deficient, people often notice that food tastes bland or that their sense of smell is reduced. This may seem minor, but it can actually affect appetite and overall nutrition, since the enjoyment of food is closely tied to these sensory experiences. Zinc also supports the health of your digestive system. It helps maintain the integrity of the gut lining, which acts as a barrier between the contents of your digestive tract and the rest of your body. Zinc-dependent enzymes are involved in repairing and maintaining this barrier. When zinc is low, the gut lining can become more permeable, allowing unwanted substances to pass through and potentially trigger immune responses. This can contribute to digestive discomfort and systemic inflammation. In addition to all of this, zinc zinc plays a role in regulating inflammation throughout the body. It helps control the production of inflammatory molecules, keeping the immune response balanced. Without enough zinc, inflammation can become excessive or chronic, which is linked to a wide range of health issues. This makes zinc not just important for fighting infections, but also for preventing the kind of low-grade inflammation that can affect long-term health. Zinc's involvement in so many enzymatic reactions means that its impact is widespread and interconnected. It's not just working in one isolated system, it's supporting multiple systems at the same time, often in ways that overlap and reinforce each other. When zinc levels are adequate, these systems function smoothly and efficiently. When zinc is lacking, small inefficiencies start to appear, and over time, these can add up to more noticeable problems across different areas of health. Zinc deficiency doesn't usually show up in a dramatic way at first. It tends to develop quietly, creating subtle changes that many people overlook or attribute to other causes. Over time, these small imbalances begin to affect multiple systems in the body, and because zinc is involved in so many processes, the symptoms can appear in very different forms, making it harder to connect them back to a single root cause. One of the earliest and most noticeable effects of low zinc is a weakened immune system. Zinc plays a central role in the function of immune cells, particularly T cells, which are responsible for identifying and attacking harmful pathogens. When zinc levels drop, the activity of these cells becomes impaired. This means your body may take longer to recognize infections and respond to them. As a result, you may find yourself getting sick more frequently, dealing with recurring colds, or struggling to recover fully from illnesses that should normally pass quickly, indicating that the immune system isn't functioning at full capacity. Hair thinning is another common sign that often gets dismissed or blamed on stress, aging, or genetics. Zinc is essential for maintaining the structure and function of hair follicles. It supports protein synthesis and cell division, both of which are critical for hair growth. When zinc is deficient, the growth cycle can become disrupted. Hair may enter the shedding phase more quickly and remain there longer, leading to noticeable thinning over time. In addition, zinc helps regulate the oil glands around the hair follicles. Without proper zinc levels, these glands may not function correctly, which can further weaken the hair and affect scalp health. Skin problems are also closely linked to zinc deficiency. Zinc has anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial properties, making it important for keeping the skin clear and resilient. When zinc levels are low, the skin may become more prone to acne, irritation, and redness. Wounds and blemishes may take longer to heal because the processes responsible for tissue repair are slowed down. In some cases, people may notice dry or rough patches on the skin or an overall decline in skin quality. These changes reflect the body's reduced ability to regenerate and protect the skin effectively. Poor wound healing is one of the more direct indicators of deficiency. The body relies on zinc-dependent enzymes to repair damaged tissue, produce new cells, and support collagen formation. When zinc is lacking, these processes become less efficient. Cuts, scrapes, and other injuries may take significantly longer to close and heal. This delayed healing can also increase the risk of infection, since the protective barrier of the skin remains compromised for a longer period. Another symptom that often goes unnoticed is a reduced sense of taste and smell. Zinc is required for the proper function of certain enzymes that support these senses. When zinc levels drop, these enzymes don't work as effectively, leading to a diminished ability to detect flavors and odors. Food may start to taste bland or less enjoyable, which can affect appetite and eating habits. In some cases, this can lead to a reduced intake of nutrients, creating a cycle that further worsens the deficiency. Zinc deficiency can also affect appetite directly. People with low zinc levels may experience a decrease in hunger or a lack of interest in production. This is partly related to the changes in taste and smell, but also to zinc's role in regulating certain hormones and signals that control appetite. Over time, reduced food intake can lead to additional nutrient deficiencies, compounding the problem and making it harder for the body to recover. The impact of zinc deficiency extends to cognitive function as well. Zinc is involved in neurotransmitter activity and brain signaling. slowing, slower mental processing, or a general sense of brain fog. Slower mental processing or a general sense of brain fog. Mood changes can also occur, including irritability or low motivation. These effects are often subtle at first, but can become more noticeable as the deficiency progresses. In children and adolescents, zinc deficiency can have even more significant consequences. It can affect growth and development, as zinc is essential for cell division and DNA synthesis. A lack of zinc during critical growth periods can lead to stunted growth or delayed physical development. It can also impact immune function in younger individuals, making them more susceptible to infections. Zinc also plays a role in maintaining the health of the digestive system. When zinc is deficient, the integrity of the gut lining can be compromised. This can lead to increased permeability, sometimes referred to as a leaky gut, where unwanted substances pass through the intestinal barrier more easily. This can trigger immune responses and contribute to inflammation, which may show up as digestive discomfort, bloating, or irregular bowel movements. Another area affected by zinc deficiency is hormonal balance. As zinc is crucial for hormone production and regulation, low levels can disrupt this balance. In men, this often shows up as reduced testosterone levels, which can lead to fatigue, decreased muscle mass, and lower energy levels. In women, hormonal imbalances may affect menstrual cycles, mood, and overall well-being. Zinc deficiency can also influence vision, particularly in low light conditions. Zinc helps transport vitamin A from the liver to the retina, where it is used to produce melanin, a protective pigment in the eyes. Without enough zinc, this process can be impaired, potentially affecting night vision and overall eye health. The challenge with zinc deficiency is that its symptoms are widespread and often overlap with other conditions. This makes it easy to overlook or misinterpret. Someone experiencing frequent illness, hair loss, skin issues, and fatigue might not immediately think of a mineral deficiency as the underlying cause. Instead, they may treat each symptom separately without addressing the root problem. Because the body does not store large amounts of zinc, it relies on a consistent intake from the diet. If that intake is insufficient or if absorption is impaired, deficiency can develop over time. Certain dietary patterns, especially the high in refined grains and low in nutrient-dense foods, can increase the risk. Additionally, factors like stress, chronic illness, and digestive issues can further reduce zinc levels or increase the body's demand for it. The wide range of symptoms associated with zinc deficiency highlights just how essential this mineral is for overall health. Its role in immune function, tissue repair, sensory perception, and cellular activity means that even a moderate deficiency can have noticeable effects on the body's ability to function optimally. Many people assume that if they are eating regularly, they are automatically getting enough nutrients, including zinc. But the reality is that zinc deficiency is surprisingly common, and it often has less to do with how much food you eat and more to do with the type of food, how your body absorbs it, and how quickly your body uses it up. Three major factors play a key role in this: diet, stress, and absorption issues. Compounds like phytates. Let's start with diet, because this is where most people unknowingly set themselves up for low zinc levels. Zinc is found in a variety of foods, but the richest and most bioavailable sources are typically animal-based, such as red meat, shellfish, and eggs. These foods provide zinc in a form that your body can absorb and use efficiently. However, many diets today rely heavily on processed foods, refined grains, and low-nutrient options that simply don't provide enough zinc to meet the body's needs. Even when zinc is present in plant-based foods like legumes, nuts, and whole grains, it is often bound to compounds that make it harder to absorb production. This is where phytates come into the picture. Phytates, also known as phytic acid, are naturally occurring compounds found in grains, seeds, nuts, and legumes. While they have some benefits, such as acting as antioxidants, they also have a strong ability to bind minerals like zinc, iron, and calcium. When phytates bind to zinc in the digestive tract, they form complexes that your body cannot easily absorb. This means that even if you are consuming foods that contain zinc, a significant portion of it may pass through your system without being utilized. For individuals whose diets are high in whole grains and legumes without proper preparation methods, this can become a major issue. Traditional food preparation techniques like soaking, fermenting, and sprouting can help reduce phytate levels and improve mineral absorption. However, in modern modern eating habits, these practices are often skipped, leading to higher phytate intake and lower zinc availability. Over time, this imbalance can contribute to a gradual decline in zinc status. Another dietary factor that contributes to zinc deficiency is the lack of variety and nutrient density. Diets that are heavily focused on convenience foods or limited in diversity may not provide the full spectrum of nutrients required for optimal health. Isolation it interacts with other nutrients, and its absorption and function can be influenced by the overall quality of the diet. For example, excessive intake of certain minerals like iron or calcium in supplement form can interfere with zinc absorption if not balanced properly. Now let's talk about stress, which is a major but often overlooked factor in zinc depletion. When your body is under stress, whether physical, emotional, or environmental, it enters a state that requires more resources to maintain balance. Zinc is one of those resources. It is involved in regulating the stress response, supporting the adrenal glands, and helping to control inflammation. During periods of chronic stress, your body uses up zinc at a faster rate to keep these systems functioning. At the same time, stress can also affect digestion and nutrient absorption. When you are stressed, blood flow is redirected away from the digestive system, and the production of digestive enzymes may decrease. This can reduce your ability to break down food and absorb nutrients effectively, including zinc. So not only are you using more zinc during stress, but you may also be absorbing less of it from your diet, creating a double impact that accelerates deficiency. Sleep deprivation, which often accompanies stress, can further worsen the situation. Poor sleep affects hormone regulation and increases the body's demand for nutrients involved in recovery and repair, including zinc. Over time, this combination of increased demand and reduced absorption can significantly lower zinc levels. Another important factor to consider is digestive health. Even if your diet contains adequate zinc, your body must be able to absorb it properly. Conditions that affect the digestive system, such as low stomach acid, gut inflammation, or damage to the intestinal lining, can impair zinc absorption. Stomach acid plays a crucial role in breaking down food and releasing minerals like zinc so they can be absorbed in the small intestine. If stomach acid levels are low, which can happen with aging, certain medications, or chronic stress, zinc absorption may be reduced. The health of the intestinal lining is equally important. Zinc is absorbed primarily in the small intestine, and any damage or irritation in this area can interfere with the process. Issues like increased intestinal permeability, often referred to as a leaky gut, can disrupt normal absorption and lead to nutrient deficiencies. Inflammation in the gut can also compete with or block the transport of zinc into the bloodstream. Certain lifestyle habits can further contribute to zinc depletion. High alcohol consumption, for example, can reduce zinc absorption and increase its excretion from the body. Regular consumption of highly processed foods, which are often low in essential nutrients, can also limit zinc intake while increasing the demand for it due to their impact on metabolism and inflammation. Another factor that is often overlooked is the increased need for zinc during specific life stages or conditions. Periods of rapid growth, such as adolescence, pregnancy, and recovery from illness or injury, all require higher levels of zinc. If intake does not increase to match this demand, deficiency can develop more quickly. Athletes and individuals with physically demanding lifestyles may also require more zinc due to increased metabolic activity and nutrient turnover. Medications can also play a role in zinc depletion. Some drugs can interfere with zinc absorption or increase its loss from the body. Over time, this can contribute to lower zinc levels, especially if dietary intake is not sufficient to compensate for the loss. What makes zinc deficiency particularly challenging is that it often develops gradually. There is no immediate or obvious signal that something is wrong. Instead, the body slowly adapts to lower levels, and symptoms begin to appear in subtle ways. Because these symptoms can affect different cells, they are often treated individually rather than being traced back to a common nutritional cause. Understanding the role of diet, stress, and absorption in zinc deficiency highlights the importance of looking at nutrition from a broader perspective. It's not just about how much of a nutrient you consume, but how well your body can access and use it, and how your lifestyle influences both your needs and your ability to meet